Hey, what's up? John Sonmez from SimpleProgrammer.com. So, as I was running today and I was going my 10 miles, a thought occurred in my head, especially when I was just thinking about, today is actually my birthday, at least at the time that I'm recording this. And I was like, man, I woke up this morning and I, got up early, did work on my book, for an hour, and then did a bunch of other work, and then I went and did my 10-mile run, and I'm not eating carbs, and I was like, man, I'm putting myself through quite a bit of stuff on my birthday, and I was thinking about it a little bit, and this thought occurred to me, which I thought was a good kind of analogy. I've heard the phrase before of basically, I can't remember the exact quote, but essentially, go through the pain of discipline or suffer the regret of failure. But I was thinking a lot about this idea that, what if you considered that, the idea of sacrifice or discipline or punishment, what if punishment and discipline are the same thing, but I had to stop my run because I thought, it just occurred to me, I was like, wait a minute. Punishment is like paying for something afterwards, and discipline is paying for it before. So the difference is, it's almost the same thing, right? One is punitive, right, in our minds. Punishment is punitive. So if we fail to do something, right, and then we pay the consequences for it, that's punishment. At least, that's how we view it, right? But the opposite of that is when you pay for something before you get the consequences, or in that case, we use consequences as a bad word, but the benefit, right? So discipline is really paying for something. It's prepaying, right? You use discipline. You spend the time. You put forth the effort. It's almost the same as punishment. You could say you're punishing yourself. In fact, I think I did a video about, if you're going to punish yourself, at least punish yourself in a good way. Punish yourself by working too hard and by getting physically fit. Don't punish yourself by just calling yourself stupid and sitting there and doing nothing if you're really going to do that. But anyway, so I don't know. It just occurred to me this would be a good way to think about your life, and to think about, a lot of times when you're making sacrifices, why are you making the sacrifice? What you're doing is you're punishing yourself ahead of time. You're paying, that's what discipline is. It's paying the price before you get the reward, right? And punishment is getting the reward and then paying the price for it. And just like buying a car, right? Or a house or anything, or better yet, charging something on your credit card, right? If you save money and you buy something, you might even be able to buy it at a discount, cash, get more. But if you charge it on your credit card, you get it now, right? But you pay more for it. You pay a greater amount for it, right? So that's just something to consider. I think is that the things that you put the work in for, that you pay for ahead of time, you get a greater benefit. You get a value out of, and it doesn't feel as much. Sure, it's painful during the time, right? When anyone who's gone through discipline, anyone who's written a book or who has trained for something like a marathon or half marathon or triathlon. I can't even imagine doing an Ironman, that kind of training. But if you've put in the work, if you've punished yourself, if you put in the discipline, in your career, in your life, in fitness, whatever it is, you get the reward from that. But I'm sure that you can also relate to the idea of the quick gain, the thing that you get quickly, and then you pay for it later, right? Because there's always a price, and I guess that's really what the whole idea of this video is, essentially that there's always a price. It's just a question of, are you going to pay for it first, or are you going to pay for it later? If you pay for it first, you get the benefits. If you pay for it later, the benefits are less, and you get regret attached to it. So, sometimes when it's hard, that's what you got to remember. That's what keeps you going. That's what can push you forward, is I'm paying for this first, right? Because you're not seeing the rewards then, but you will later on if you can keep going. But anyway, I thought that was a good way to think about this. There's obviously different variations of the same type of idea, but yeah, if you just think about the idea that everything has a price, what are you going to do? You're going to pay for it first? You can pay for it later. So anyway, if you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and if you don't mind, if you would like to support the channel, if you'd like to get access to our Facebook group, which is just going crazy with Simple Programmer members, a patron pledge of $5 a month will get you into the Facebook group. There's already 200 members in there, sharing and helping each other. This is for anyone who's watching the videos who wants to become part of the Simple Programmer community. We're growing, and we're a super positive community. If you're not positive, I kick you right out. So anyway, hope you liked the video, and I will talk to you next time. Take care.